Hello and welcome back to Eastern Europe 1259. And indeed, as you can see right here, I've actually sent a messenger to Treniota. I did not realize that this was actually already implemented. I thought this was going to be in a future version, but yes, it is actually implemented right now in the version that we have on Nexus. So, yeah, this is really cool because I can immediately speak to Mr. Treniota. I don't know whether this is going to enable me the ability to give him no, see, there you go. Can't give him troops. Obviously, no, that's not realistic. You see, that's not realistic, so of course not. However, what we do have is the potential to become a vassal, because he's actually asked me about becoming a vassal right about now. And so I'm thinking to myself, maybe we want to do that. However, what we're also going to do is maybe just give him a couple of things, because if I can give him a little bit of money, maybe that's going to enable us to get some nice relation. I'm thinking we'll just give him 6,000 for now, and then we'll just see. That didn't do anything. All right. Well, that's unfortunate, isn't it? But yes. Anyway, I was actually making my way over here to this particular hideout because, as you can see, there are a load of Curonian raiders. I would love to be able to... Yes. There we go. That's exactly what I'm talking about. All right. So what we're going to do as well, we're actually going to get ourselves a new weapon here, because despite the fact that I think that this weapon is absolutely amazing and really, really good for us from a usability standpoint on horseback, it is not doing enough damage right now. We need to do more damage, right? We need to do more damage. So we're going to do something about that. And of course, what we also probably need to do, and this is something that I actually thought of because of this particular tip on the loading screen, I'm thinking that maybe it's not possible for us to get noble troops as a mercenary, because they require influence, you see. They require influence. And, well, as a mercenary, your influence is eaten by your mercenary contract. So, of course, you're not going to be able to, have noble troops. Or at the very least, I think noble troops would be a lot more difficult to sustain. Because, the mercenary contract is, of course, going to, absorb all of that. So, yeah, it's probably a good idea that we become a vassal, or at the very least, potentially think about becoming a vassal, maybe. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to go, but that's pretty much the thought process that I'm having right now. And maybe, just maybe, we'll be okay with that. Who knows? Maybe we will. I'm just going to do some damage here. Just going to try to do my best with just weakening them up a little bit. I mean, I don't really mind so much about if I miss or anything like that. As you can see, we're actually getting some pretty nice hits here and pretty nice kills. And yeah, this is actually a pretty cool weapon, to be honest. I got to say, as I said before, I'm very impressed by the archery here, and you can see here that maybe I can do some pretty good damage. I think this is my horse, actually, yeah. This is my horse actually dealing the damage here right now, not my weapon. The weapon is not bad in my opinion, but I feel like we need a bit of an upgrade, I guess, and we'll try and see if we can maybe find something that is a little bit more to our liking. Maybe we can, I mean, that's the funny thing. I don't want to use a spear, because I've used a spear so many times in recent series, and despite the fact that spears would be pretty fantastic, you know what, someone actually suggested a slashing polearm. I'm not sure how a slashing polearm is going to do in an RBM setting, because you do have, well, you have a lot of front load damage with it, which is obviously very nice. We've used slashing polearms in the past and they've been very effective, so maybe that's a good idea, because we've used a spear, but we haven't really used, yeah, obviously right there, veteran axeman, we did 14 damage, but yeah, anyway, we've used a spear, we haven't really used a slashing polearm. So I'm thinking to myself, yeah, actually, maybe we should go for that if we can find it, right? If we can find it. Look at that, massive amounts of influence from this as well, which I am very pleased about. Let's get some more axemen here. Let's get some more Baltic footmen as well. Obviously, it's going to take a little bit of time to level these guys up. And look at this. This is exactly also the reason why I wanted to fight these guys, because Curonians actually have insane gear. They have really, really nice gear. So this is fantastic. This is really, really nice. I think I might get my hands on a blunt weapon, potentially. A nice long blunt weapon, that, well, if it's, yeah, if it's possible. Because it might not actually even be possible for us to do that, you know. Yeah, because blunt weapons, they're very, very short reach most of the time. So, yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a problem right there. Okay, so obviously we have, we gave her a bow last episode, so let's actually see if we can maybe give her something. She's got a 90-pound bow right now. She could use something a little bit stronger. I think we might give her, yeah, actually these are bent right now. These are piercing though. I actually prefer piercing arrows, despite they are bent. I'm not a big fan of that, obviously, but we're gonna try and see if we can maybe buy some better arrows for her, as well as a war bow. Maybe get her a war bow or something like that. I think someone actually mentioned something like that in the comments as well, so thank you very much for that. Otherwise, yeah, we'll actually go in here in just a moment. Should we actually go in here? Is there a reason for me to go in here? I mean, I do have a new dagger, don't I? Yeah, I have a wait, no. Oh no, I don't have a new dagger here because I failed to actually do that tournament, didn't I? Oh yeah, that's funny. That's actually very funny. All right, yeah, I did actually forget about that. All right. Well, is there a... There's no town nearby. Is that real? Am I hallucinating that there is no town here? Yeah, apparently that is indeed correct. There are no towns in the area. Oh well, never mind. Oh yeah, by the way, if you're also playing on the same version, by the way, the update that I downloaded 2 days ago, that is save game compatible. So if you're playing on the previous version that we were all playing on when I obviously made the first episode, then you can use the update for the save game. And basically, if you're looking for the messenger system, it's here. It's right here, as you can see right there. You just click on that little horse icon. I had no idea that was the case. I thought that there would be a big send messenger button up at the top here, like there is for some mods, but no. There you go. It's a lot more subtle, which I do feel is pretty cool, actually. I like that. Anyway, let's wait until nightfall to sneak in, and we'll see what we can do. I think we'll probably be okay, right? I think we'll probably be fine. It just very much depends on what's going to happen here. Let's sneak in. Shall we take a bunch of really, really low-level people in here? Because I kind of feel like... No. Okay, fine. I'm not gonna be a little bit, maybe a little bit stupid. I'm not sure. I mean, generally, I feel like we can. I think we could probably do this with levies, but we might want to be more cautious. I don't know. We might want to be careful. Nice damage. Let's see if we can do a little bit more here. Wow, this is actually kind of dangerous. This is very, very dangerous because these guys could turn around at any time. Okay, be careful. Oh, we got this guy? Are you serious? Wow, okay. Yep. He's dead. Pulled out my falchion just in time. This guy's also going to do this. There we go. Okay, that was good enough. This is not really stealth, is it? No. I mean, that's a funny thing. Okay, I feel like if you're gonna have fun with a stealth system or a stealth game in general, and obviously this is talking. How did his shield block that? Did you see that? Wow. Okay. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Okay, yeah, that was not so good, was it? No. That was not so good. Okay, so yeah, let me actually just hide behind here. I mean, I would like to, I don't know, I would like to hide in some of these bushes, I guess. I mean, generally, I think I can probably move around here, but the fact that this guy's shield actually blocked my attack, that is hilarious. Apparently, I have to be a lot more precise or something like that. I mean, that's pretty crazy for us to literally have a passive idle shield on his back actually be effective in blocking us. That's hilarious. Okay, let's see what happens here. What's going on with this guy? Is he... Okay, he's going over there. Alright, yeah, we don't have to worry about that. Okay, so we should be fine here. Nice, okay. Gotta be careful. These are Curonians. We gotta bear that in mind. They're actually pretty good. Oh no. Okay, well that was close. Yeah, we really need to get our hands on a proper weapon, to be honest. Is this guy knowing where I am? No, he doesn't. Nice. Actually, you know what? It feels to me like I'm not actually even using this knife, despite the fact that it does say stealth attack. It does actually say stealth attack when I use it, but this knife doesn't use the same stance as the other knives. So I'm assuming that this is actually an incorrect knife for what we need it for, and me doing a headshot doesn't really make any difference. As you can see, it does it exactly the same, and that was a pommel hit, hilariously enough. I think there was a little bit of half and half there. I need to be a little bit careful here as well, because this guy could potentially see me. How am I going to do this? I guess just move back here. Is he actually going to make his way all the way down? There's no way, right? Yeah, but anyway, I was actually going to talk about stealth games, and basically for me, personally, I feel as though a good stealth game allows you the opportunity to recover in some way or another. Obviously, this is kind of like a mini game, right? This is kind of like a mini game more than you know, an actual main game mode or anything like that. Because obviously, let's face it, something like Splinter Cell, which I am a huge fan of, is it's obviously supposed to be a stealth game, right? It is supposed to be a stealth game. It's supposed to be, you know, something that you primarily want to do. You know, that's your primary objective, to be careful and, you know, sneak around, place traps and so on and so forth. You know, stealth kill people, stealth knock out people if you want to, and you can even do it passively as well. You can even do a pacifist run if you want to, and that obviously allows you a lot more tension, you know. A lot more tension, because obviously you're not going to be, you know, you're not going to be eliminating all the threats. You're going to be super careful all throughout, and it's going to be a lot more dynamic in that sense, because there are always going to be enemies almost every single place, right? Every single corner that you go around is going to be like, oh yeah, there's an enemy there, and there's an enemy here, and yeah, all that stuff. So yeah, it is going to actually make a very big difference. And I have to be a bit careful here, because I could die. Because Curonians, as I said, are really good at what they do. Thankfully, we just outnumber them so dramatically right here. So we don't really need to worry about this too much. Now, someone actually did mention something, by the way. Someone mentioned something about the hideouts specifically. So I thought, hey, you know what? Let's actually try it out, because that's pretty cool. Basically going and killing everyone, right? So not doing the duel at the end, but doing everyone, just slaughtering everyone that we can. So I'm going to say I don't fight duels with brigands, and we're going to try and see if we can maybe do something here. Obviously, I've got to be a little bit careful, because I don't really want to die. But let's just see, because basically it's, as far as I'm aware, a way for us to get a little bit more loot, and obviously a little bit more experience. But yeah, obviously the unfortunate thing for me right now is just that I don't have many low levels in here, so it is going to be a little bit problematic. Let's try not to hit our own forces. Thank you. Let's try not to hit our own people. And there we go. We got 6.2 renown for that. Actually, not too bad. Okay, so we can take all of these guys as well. We didn't get that much relation for clearing out the hideout. I was actually thinking that we would gain a lot more relation for some reason. So it seems to me, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's better for us to just attack bandits just randomly for the relation increases. Yeah. Anyway, as I said before, we are going to try to get our hands on a really nice one-handed. Unfortunately, these are not going to be, well, not that useful. We did get some pretty decent stuff, I guess, but yeah, anyway, they did actually offer us vassalage, by the way. Yeah, they did actually offer us vassals. So I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do about that. But yeah, what I do need to do is I need to find a town. Is there a town nearby? I'm kind of still shocked that there isn't any town nearby along the coast here. But maybe it's just because I haven't found it yet. I don't know. It could be. That's not a town right there. Racine is the closest, I assume, or as far as I can tell. So I'll make my way over there, and I'm going to try and see if I can absorb as much influence as possible, because obviously we're getting paid through the mercenary contract. And, well, secondarily, I wouldn't mind becoming a vassal. I think that might be quite fun. Ah, hello. It looks as though a local thug wants to fight us. And, well, this is going to be kind of interesting because he stands in front of us by himself, which is actually hilarious because you'd think to, you'd think to yourself, oh yeah, no, these guys, I mean, you'd think they would have learned by now, but no, this is us literally getting ambushed in the town itself. Yes, in the town itself, because obviously it is a little bit nighttime here, so that is, I suppose, to be expected. Anyway. We're going to gain a lot of money right here because, I mean, literally look at all this stuff right here. Look at this. This is absolutely crazy. Question is, yes, that's what I thought. We do actually have slightly, yep. Okay, slightly better helmet. So we're going to be giving that to one of our guys there just to make sure that we are always upgrading ourselves quite well. And let's go over here to the ranged stuff because what we could do... let's see. I'm thinking right now that we'll give her a yes. I think something like this would probably be relatively useful for her. Or maybe this. Yes, 130 missile speed. I think that sounds really good. So let's do that. And then she's using 125. She is using 130 from her bow itself. But if we can get a better set of arrows, I wouldn't be adverse to that. I think that would be quite fun. So let's see. Greased. Is that better? I mean, it's 90 grams. I don't know. I don't think so. I think we need something that's 120 or at least, right? But it doesn't seem like they actually have any available here. So I will just leave her with the 90 at the moment. And then we can actually have a look and see if there are any slashing polearms. I have a bad feeling that we're not going to be able to find a slashing polearm unless we make it. Or unless there is like... I don't know, some very lucky coincidence where we are able to find one, because every single thing here is going to be a spear, and almost always going to be a thrusting thing. Okay, what about curved knife? I mean, it says stealth, right? It says, look, it says that there is stealth available on this, and it says that there is stealth available on this as well. Let's just swap out our simple knife and we'll go with a curved knife. A piercing dagger? Actually, wait. Piercing dagger might be cool. Yeah, actually, you know what? We'll go with the piercing dagger instead. We'll see how that goes. And I actually wouldn't mind seeing if there's some better stealth stuff as well. Because at the moment, I do feel as though we are not as stealthy as we could be. But the funny thing is... yeah... I do feel as though we're actually, I mean, how much better can you get, right? Like, how much better can you get? I don't know. Because at the moment, most of the stuff that I'm wearing is relatively high bonus, as you can see. So, yeah, I guess, I don't know. Not too sure what to make of that. But yeah, anyway, we are going to basically just sell absolutely every single thing we can here because we're going to be gaining a significant amount of cash. Look at that, 48,000. We actually made it to 100,000 immediately. Very nice. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just speak to one of these villagers over here. I wouldn't mind doing a quest. Maybe we'll... no, it's Family Feud. Not a big fan. What else do we have here? In and out. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to pray real fast as well, just to make sure that we're always doing that somewhat regularly, I suppose. And I'm just going to recruit some people as well while I can, even though they are very low level. Alright, so I now have the opportunity to speak to who we need to speak to, which is obviously Mr. Treniota here. The question is, where is he? There he is. Nice. He also has the quest revenue farming, but I think I can probably just give him some troops, right? I think I should be able to just give him some relatively easy to level up troops. So I think we'll just give him some horse skirmishers, I suppose. I'm actually not entirely sure, to be honest. I'm going to assume that cavalry is worth more. I think someone actually mentioned that as well, that cavalry might be worth more in these kinds of situations. So, yeah, that's probably the reason why when we gave a bunch of infantry, it wasn't super effective. So, the thing is, I don't really want to give away this one lancer. I mean, I've only got a handful of cavalry at the moment. So, yeah, I'll just give 22 troops. Let's see. Yes, nice. Okay, we actually did get the 9 that we needed. And we could potentially do revenue farming as well for him, but I don't think we're going to do that. We could actually... I might have enough money to become a spouse to someone here. That could be pretty fun. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like to... I don't know. I kind of like to do couple more fights as a mercenary just to kind of get us firmly over 100,000 and then go on from there and become a vassal. I think that's probably going to be the way to go. Yes, I think that's probably what we'll do. So I'm going to go back to the town, right? Go back to Racine, and I'm going to see if we can actually recruit noble troops, right? If we can actually recruit noble troops, that's going to be extremely useful for us, or at least I hope so. Alright, so what we're also going to do is, because we're back at Racine right now, we're going to spend a little bit of money on purchasing this guy's brewery. I know. Most of the time, breweries, workshops, and so on and so forth are not really that useful, but this particular town does have 2 grain villages associated with it. So I'm thinking a brewery is going to be quite profitable. Or at least, let's hope so, right? Okay, so for those of you that are playing alongside me, maybe it's a pretty cool idea to do this, because what I've done is I've actually found out that if you go into a castle and you ask about nearby settlements, they are very likely to give you some insane knowledge. As in, they will give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Most likely 8 locations on the map. And you can see here just how much I've actually uncovered. I didn't have all of this beforehand, as far as I'm aware, at least. Maybe I did, I don't know, but I don't think so. And so if you can actually go inside, because sometimes they refuse you entry or whatever. But basically what you can do is you could do some crazy cool things like this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at how much you can actually get uncovered by just doing that. And the funny thing about that is that if you go to a village and you do the same thing, I'm going to just show you now just so that you can actually see what's going on here. But if you go to a village and do the same thing, you will not get the same amount. As you can see, you'll only get between 2 and 3 locations, maybe even 1. You might get between 1 and 3 locations. And in my opinion, that's very cool, because obviously if you think about it, a villager is not going to have as much information potentially as a castle person. You know, a castle is more than likely going to have more visitors than some random, lonesome village out in the middle of nowhere somewhere, you know. So I do think that that's very cool. Anyway, as you can see right here, we have now returned. Oh, wait a minute, what's that? Oh, that's a town over there. Oh, interesting. Okay, so yeah, we have returned over to where Mr. King Mindaugus is. First name King, second name Mindaugus, of course. And otherwise okay, hello. If he's avoiding this guy. Oh, this is actually perfect. We could go in against this guy. Okay, let's just get some Curonians. There we go. Very nice. Yeah. So, actually, the town did hold 1 interesting unit for us, which was this guy. Yeah, this guy right here. Yeah, so as you can see, we did actually get some Baltic regular footmen, and well, they then become these guys, which are tier 4s, and there is even a tier 5. But I couldn't find anything else. I couldn't find any other, like, notable related, or should we say noble related people. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure where to find those guys, but we're going to continue looking around and everything, obviously, and we'll see if we can maybe get a little bit lucky. Maybe it is just luck, or maybe I need to increase my relation, right? Maybe I need to increase my relation by a significant amount. that might make that might make sense, right? In my relation to a village, maybe I need to increase it even further. Maybe because it does say on the mod download page itself, or on the mod description, shall we say, it does say relation is more important than ever when it comes to this mod specifically. So I'm thinking, you know what, actually that might be a good point, because it might be the fact that we need to get a significant amount of relation with any particular place for us to be able to recruit higher tier units, and that means higher quality across the board. And that would definitely make sense. I feel like that would definitely make sense, because obviously, you know, if you're unknown to these people, you know, I mean, it kind of brings back memories of Warband in this situation, because obviously if you think about Warband, you think about the fact that Warband did have an emphasis on relation, right? You wanted to get a pretty significant amount of relation at one or two particular villages, and you'd then be able to recruit significant amount more troops from that location. And that does make a big difference. It does. It's just a fact that it does. Obviously, there is a small diminishing returns dependent on what kind of relation you have with the village. Because from my reckoning, most of the time, once you have above, well, I guess it really depends on what your goal is with it. But for me personally, once you have above 25, 30 relation, you're getting a pretty significant amount of people from that, and you don't really have to dedicate a significant amount of time to, you know, generating relation with that particular village. But, you know, obviously it very much depends on you, you know, it depends on what you personally prefer to do. I personally prefer to go for about 25, 30, but obviously you can go for more. But yeah, around that time, it starts to give you around 15, 20 units as far as I'm aware. Maybe I'm misremembering. I don't know. It's been quite some time since I have played Warband and actually done something for a village. So just bear that in mind. Okay, so we've got a bit of a weird situation here, because we've got some horse skirmishers running over there, and we've got some regular cavalry over here. Okay, so I'm just going to go here, put these guys into a nice little loose formation. We're going to put these guys over here, because no doubt we are going to be going into a shield wall. What's annoying to me right now, actually, is the fact that the enemy is basically just holding position in their wonderful reinforcement zone, and that's going to make things quite uncomfortable for us. I will try and see if I can do some damage here. 61 damage, nice. Okay, there we go. Nice. We're getting a couple of kills with the slashy slash. Not too bad. Let's put these guys into a shield wall. We've got quite a few spearmen now as well, by the way, so we shouldn't have a terrible time dealing with the cavalry, or at least I hope so. Whoa, okay, that was some pretty hefty damage right there. Alright. Yeah, that's generally the reason why you want to be very, very careful. Let's actually just move our cavalry in there. Shall we tell our infantry to charge in as well? Yeah, why not? Might as well. But yeah, basically, that's also the reason why we want to be very, very careful about going in there when we don't have any additional cavalry support, because the enemy is really good at actually getting headshots with their bows. And as we've seen ourselves, the hitbox is extremely tight. As in, when you shoot someone over a shield or, you know, beyond their shield, it actually manages to hit a lot of the time. Instead of just, you know, the shield being like this weird invisible wall thing that just has like a magnetic presence to arrows flying toward it. You know, because I've had that many, many times in the past where I've literally shot at some guy thinking to myself, oh yeah, actually, I'm seeing the arrow fly through the air. I'm seeing it go, you know, directly towards his face. And then as soon as it is about to impact the target, you know what happens? It hits the shield. And yeah, that's obviously you know, hitbox issues. But the cool thing about RBM, or at the very least, I think it does change the hitboxes slightly. I could be wrong about this, obviously, but from what I've seen, from us doing the practice fights, from us doing, you know, various encounters here and there, it is very much better. And I don't know whether that's an RBM thing or whether that's something else, but yeah. Anyway, there we go. Okay, we're gonna just... take anyone? Take some cavalry, I guess. Yeah, I'm just gonna take cavalry. That's all I'm gonna take. I'm just gonna take cavalry because I kind of want to get some more cavalry, just in general, because we're not really having that many ways that we can use strategy or tactics. Basically, the best thing that I can do at the moment is just go, you know, standard. Just go standard shield wall, loose formation for the archers, and then just go on from there. And that's pretty much all I can really, institute. But yeah, we'll see what happens, because obviously we do now have an opportunity potentially for our brewery to do some crazy cool things. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't actually know. Is he gonna try and take Minsk? Okay, so this is us going into our final battle as a mercenary. We will be taking the oath and pledging ourselves to do everything that we can to shoot everyone in the back and to hit everyone over the face with our wonderful weapon in every siege ever, and, you know, be somewhat useful, I guess, and useless at the same time. Yeah, it's 50-50, you know, it's a little bit 50-50. Anyway, we're going to move our forces over here, and yeah, we'll see what we can do about becoming a vassal after this. I can probably just go and speak to King Mindaugus, because he's literally got an army, you know, he's got an army already. We don't really need to worry about him too much. I don't really want to move my cavalry super close to the opponent, because they're most likely... I feel like these guys are actually kind of dangerous. I don't know. They are slightly... They feel slightly better than us at the moment, so I'm a little bit worried about this, to be honest. Ooh, I was going for the headshot. Yeah, no. No. That's not going to happen.
Form a slot row! Loose formation!
This is actually kind of a little bit confusing, to be honest, because I was actually thinking to myself, what is going on here? These guys are deciding to be very passive in regards to their cavalry, at least, because we've had their cavalry kind of running around us a little bit here. You know, they're kind of being a little bit annoying. but they're not really doing much. And as you can see, we're actually so... Well, I'm so confident about this that I've just literally put my archers closer than my infantry right now, because I obviously wanted to make sure that these guys would eliminate the enemy's archers as best as they can. And it does seem as though we're actually going to be completely fine. And yeah, look at that. Yeah, actually really, really nicely fine. Okay, so yeah, we can put our guys back into a line formation now as well. Hello there. Oh, no. I was... actually, I've got 6 arrows. Might as well use them. Ah, there's the vassal. Alright, yep. That's exactly the reason why they were not retreating. Hilarious. Okay, so there we go. 14 renown for us right there. Oh, no, okay, not too bad, not too bad. Okay, I'm just going to let him go. Generally, I feel like we're probably going to do that quite often, considering because the relation is so important. Nowadays, it's probably going to be somewhat good for us to do that. Oh, hello. Elite Archer. Nice. All right, get my hands on that. Thank you very much. Okay, so as I said to you before, what we're primarily going to do, despite the fact that I would love to be able to recruit one of these, I have no idea how I'm supposed to recruit these kinds of units. So we're going to try to figure that out as time goes on. But primarily what I'm going to do is I'm going to take tier 4s. I'm going to take tier 4 units because that is the threshold for a stout defender. And that's the thing that I want to try to increase as best as I can. So generally what I'm doing is, what do we got going on here? Why do we have this? Why do we have this weird thing going on? Okay, yeah. So anyway, basically, we're going to just try and see if we can get as many tier 4s as possible, as we do have, well, nice armor here, as we do have Stout Defender, and then we're going to get Loyalty and Honor as well, and Stout Defender only works with tier 4 plus troops. So yeah, it's going to be very, very useful. And what is this? A 180 pound war longbow. Well, that's pretty insane. I'm going to give that to our unmounted character here. She's going to have an absolutely fantastic time with this stuff. That's for sure. Yeah, and there's also some very, very good arrows here too. So I'm actually going to use those, and we're going to give her my old ones because why not? There we go. Nice. She's going to get so many kills. She's going to absolutely destroy with her new gear now. Okay, so let's just have a look. Anything else? Yes, there we go. We can get him some nice torso armor. And of course, don't worry, I didn't forget about this particular piece of armor. Thank you very much. We're going to be wearing that. Oh, look at that. That is shiny. People are going to see us from 10 miles away, and they're going to be able to shoot us directly, you know, straight up. It's going to be quite funny. All right, so yeah, otherwise we do have a kite shield. This, not sure if I like this in comparison to the round shield. I'm usually a big fan of round shields because they do tend to protect the body a little bit more. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. But yeah, there is actually two-handed here as well. So I'm probably thinking about, yes, this is slightly better than what he was using. What about his thrown weapons? No, these are not as good. Okay, so we'll just take all the loot here. Thank you very much. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to stick around here for a little bit. Yes, we're just going to stick around here for a little bit and try and see if we can get our hands on breeder skill. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of breeding people everywhere, but especially these particular perks. This particular perk specifically is just so good. Oh yeah, by the way, so Stout Defender, obviously, as you can see right there, plus 50% recruitment rate of tier 4 plus prisoners. Now, it does say tier 4 plus, but as we've seen, it feels to me that if we were to go for tier 5 and above, it would take way too long. And that's what I found as well in other playthroughs. It just takes way too much time for us to recruit those people. So we are just going to go for tier 4 and above. And obviously the tier 3s as well. Well, tier 3s are pretty easy to convert, or at least I hope so. Anyway, I'm just going to wait here for some time until our influence is relatively low, and then I will become a vassal. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into the siege at Minsk, because he's doing it, so I might as well, right? Yeah, Might as well. Now, I actually wouldn't have minded speaking to him beforehand and becoming a vassal. Because if we literally became a vassal and then did the siege and then captured the town, it's very likely that he would have provided us ownership over this particular fief, which would have been amazing. That would have been so nice, but I don't think that's going to happen as it stands. And for some reason, why don't I have a horse? I didn't start with a horse. Okay, interesting. I actually wonder, maybe... Is this the first time we've been doing a siege? I don't think so, right? I think we've done a siege beforehand, haven't we? Yeah, I think we did, but we didn't... Did we start on a horse back then as well? I actually don't know. Anyway, we are gonna get out our bow, and I will see if I can do some damage. Okay, yes, let's not do that. My accuracy leaves a lot to be desired, doesn't it? Yes, if it could just fly straight and true. Okay, there we go. Actually managed to hit him once. There we go. All right. Yeah, that was a little bit of a long shot, to be honest. Wow. Okay. Oh, and then he moves. Of course he does. Alright, so I'm just going to lift the ladder myself, because apparently my forces are not doing anything, so I am just going to do that. And the question is, am I actually even going to be able to survive any kind of incursion here? Probably not, right? Yeah, probably not. Okay, I'll try my best, though. I'll try my best. I mean, I've got to basically get by here without getting myself absolutely slaughtered, which is extremely unlikely, as you can see. I'm going to try to jump off. Is that an invisible wall right there? I think that's an invisible wall over here. That is so sad. I hate invisible walls when it comes to sieges. It is so sad for us to see that. Oh well, never mind. Can I become someone? Is there a way for me to actually become one of my own troops? I think it's going to be a while until I find them. Alright, there it is. Okay, so there's the victory. I obviously couldn't find, yeah, couldn't take control of anyone, which is kind of unfortunate, but you know, that's just how it goes sometimes. And indeed, there you go. That is a victory for us. Hopefully we will be able to do some pretty cool things. Let's just give this guy a banner. And unfortunately, we didn't get any loot whatsoever, because obviously, let's face it, I didn't really do much. And let's have a look here. Okay, what are we doing? Oh, wow. Sit down with them and negotiate a mutual understanding. The trade and race scene has been booming, and prices and wages have been going up. The workers at your brewery have taken notice. Your supervisor reports that they have all refused to come into work until they receive a pay increase. Right, yeah, so we'll just sit down with them and do all that wonderful stuff. Now, let's just go into the keep, and we will immediately speak to him. As you can see, I'm glad you received my message. And here we go. I swear homage to you, and so on and so forth, and we will now become a vassal of the Kingdom of Lithuania. And he's actually... What? He's giving us some cool stuff. Baltic Commander. This guy is crazy good. Alright, well, he should know that he's going to die probably relatively soon. But, yes. All things considered, right? All things considered. Okay, so yeah. I'll just take this. And he's giving us a sword as well. Should I use this sword? Yeah, why not? Let's use it. I mean, it's slightly less reach, obviously, but it is better in general. And here we go. Okay, yes, that's great. So we are now a vassal, and now this is where things get interesting, or should we say more interesting, because what we're going to have to do is, first of all, we are going to just wait here for some time, but I'm very much hoping that they will give us the town, because we are a newly appointed vassal with 0 land, and if I get my hands on this particular fief, I will be extremely pleased, but it's very unlikely that they're going to do that, isn't it? I think it's unlikely, but let's see what happens, because maybe, just maybe, we'll get very lucky indeed. Vote for the new owner. Oh, we can. Just about. I literally only just about have enough relation, or shall we say not relation, influence, to be able to do this. There you go. Boom, look at that. Otherwise, it would have come down to a coin flip, basically. So yeah, would have been pretty bad. Would have been pretty bad for us. But there you go. All right, so we did actually gain the town, hilariously enough. And as you can see, there's actually some new buttons here that allow us to go with additional cash. Wow, look at that. You can, yeah, so you can, oh, that's interesting. Look at that. So I can literally just add 10,000 and take away 10,000 as well. Actually, taking away 10,000 sounds really, really good, actually. Yeah, but we should probably not do that just yet. All right, so otherwise, what we're going to do is I'm actually going to remove all of this just until the loyalty... Huh. Okay. We probably just want to continue with this, don't we? It's going to take 206 days. Why is it going to take 206 days? Why does it take so long? Is it because of the construction here? Low loyalty? Yeah. Okay. We're going to have to do something about this. So let's actually just see here real quick. Okay, so what we're going to do is... okay. So let's have a look. She is not particularly good. Let's have a look here. Is this guy particularly good? Not really. I'm looking for someone that has decent engineering skill, decent decent trade skill, you know, steward skill, stuff like that. Because I want a governor. Ideally, I want a governor, but if I can't find anyone, then I will just take someone. I'll just take one of these random people because the culture here is Rus, so it's probably a good idea for us to try and see what we can do about that. So I guess I will take her, and we will just put her in there. There we go. All right. Wow. Okay. These people apparently did not like that one bit for some reason. Why didn't they like that? I don't know. But yeah, she has Heroic Leader, which does give us +1 loyalty. And as you can see, we are now getting +4 total. And that's going to make a big difference. At least I hope so over time. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.